welcome back into today's video. We're going to be looking at the sexual misconduct allegations of Garrett Børns. These types of allegations are very difficult for all parties involved, and I want to be as respectful as I can in dealing with such a sensitive topic. Now, from my count, there's specifically 9 separate claims of misconduct from Garrett Børns, not including the claims about members of his band. It's important for everyone to know that these allegations are not proven in a court of law. However, someone reached out to me and asked if I could please raise awareness for this, and my purpose is to discourage any further misconduct if allegations hold true. If you need to vent, join the Discord server. We have friends ready to listen. Let's start off with claim 1. This is from a young woman named Nia on Twitter. She says, I didn't get the courage to share this. Please understand where I'm coming from. Please be safe and always trust your gut. I'm so sorry to anyone I'm going to disappoint or anyone I've straight up lied to for the past 3 years to keep this a secret. I'm sorry I've acted like I never knew anything, and I'm tired of acting like everything is okay. Please understand where I'm coming from, and I know that I never meant or wanted to intentionally lie. I don't want the attention, but I only want to use my experience to help out other people to be safe. Since 2015, Garrett Børns, aka Borns, has been a manipulator, horrible friend, and user. I met him at a concert by myself. At a time, I didn't have a best friend or someone close to talk to about the small things. We exchanged numbers and just talked about music, traveling, living in LA, Grand Rapids, Chicago, how he wanted me to visit him in LA, etc. He became someone I could finally talk to about the little things. At this point, a friendship was building, and I secretly and slowly started becoming attracted to him without knowing it, because I thought it was something that would freak him out. Months of just texting go by, and he guest listed me to his Chicago show. I was 19 years old at the time. During the show, we're making eye contact numerous times, and I'm getting flirtatious vibes, but I'm just thinking this is how he performs, and after the show, he was still busy. I let him talk to his fans first. After that, I tried to pull him aside, and right when I did, his manager told him he had to leave. I texted him as soon as possible to say thanks for the guest list spot and a great show. Instantly, he says no problem, invited me to his hotel room. My gut told me it wasn't a good idea, so I told him I'm already on my way home, but next time we'll have to hang out. Next time was a month later, and right before he texted me to send pics and to add him on Snapchat. So if you're a young woman and you're talking to a guy and he repeatedly asks you to come over and hang out and to send pictures, that's a red flag. Be very cautious of this type of behavior. So I would actually send memes as the pics just to throw hints that I like him, but I don't want to be the one night stand or friends with benefits. Right after the next show, the same thing happened, except he added, let's Netflix and chill. I said no, but didn't exactly make it stern that I didn't want a sexual relationship with him, and still tried to make it as a funny situation. Right after the next show, the same thing happened, except he added, let's Netflix and chill. Winky face. I said no, but didn't exactly make it stern that I didn't want a sexual relationship with him, and I still tried to make it a funny situation. Months go by when he ignored my messages because I said no to going to his hotel room. I felt so hurt because I started to think I had no one to talk to. I only had my family to talk about this, and I was too embarrassed and confused to say anything, so I just kept it bottled up inside and tried to brush it off. His bassist at the time and I came into contact on social media and created a good bond. I was excited because, yay, new friend I can talk to about music passion with. A little while had passed, and then he became flirtatious by complimenting me, but in a nice way, not trying to force anything or seem creepy. I still thought that was a little strange because I thought he contacted me from seeing me with Garrett, but I guess not. Then I saw him hanging out with Garrett on Snapchat. The next day I realized he unfollowed me on social media, never replied back to my text, and honestly, it's like he disappeared from the face of the earth. I have no idea what Garrett said to him to have him never contact me again. Months and months pass. And I do want to bring up something. Now, during this time, there was other sexual misconduct allegations toward other members of his band, and I'm told around this allegations is when a member of the band had deleted their Snapchat. This could be why he disappeared from the face of the earth, but I have no idea, but we'll look into it as we go. Months and months passed, and I kept hearing Borns in public, on commercials, seeing in social media, etc. So I decided to text Garrett and tell him how I actually missed him. We started up conversation again, and once again came the send pics text. Around this time I was flying out to LA. I got to LA and he sent me an address to tell me to meet him for drinks. I went for it because it's better than come to my hotel room. Plus, I did miss being around the person he was from when I first met him. Now, I do want to point out that from what she has said, they have not had very many in-person exchanges. And from the exchanges that there was, it doesn't seem like they had enough time to commit through to any type of real bond. I feel like that this person was probably manipulated over a course of messages from Garrett, asking for the pictures and stuff like that. But to me, it seemed pretty obvious that he was only interested in one thing. But I'm interested in what you guys think. I was expecting a bar, but ended up at his place. I went with it because my Uber already dropped me off, and I was giving myself the benefit of a doubt, not trusting my gut. It was only the two of us. While he was making drinks, we are having a great conversation, making it seem like he was so interested in my life. Suddenly, I became drunk and was completely taken advantage of. Once everything happened, I went to the bathroom and started bleeding. I was completely shocked from the blood and started to get together and realize what had just happened. I blamed myself for that night because I didn't say no, even though I was intoxicated. Once I came out of the bathroom, he tried to comfort me and acted like everything was okay and tried to make me feel special. Of course, I fell for it and blamed myself for getting drunk and letting it happen. We kept in touch afterwards without me confronting him about what happened because he was so good at manipulating. Now, was he so good at manipulating, or was he completely unaware of his actions? There's a difference in that, and we really can't be sure at this point. We are both in Chicago a month later. This time he said, let's hang. So I go to hang out with Garrett and his friends. The three of us went to a bar inside a hotel, and they managed to get me in without having to get carded. We all shared drinks inside, and then we end up going back outside so they can smoke in public in front of his friend and the hotel bellhop. Garrett put his hands on an inappropriate place on my body and kept touching me up and down. I was a little drunk at this point, but still conscious of what he was doing, so I just squirmed away and continued having the conversation. Time passed, and we ended up in his hotel room. Now, don't put yourself in these situations. Learn. And I think that's why these girls are coming forward, and why I'm even making this video, because our voice is one of the strongest tools that we have to prevent others from being in dangerous situations like this. Time passed, and we ended up in his hotel room. His friend left, and Garrett started telling me how I have good vibes. He loves my outfit, etc. And one thing led to another, and I was filled with a little guilt, even though I was a little drunk in the moment, because I actually let him talk me into using me again. I was so naive, and at the time I kept telling myself that he actually meant everything he said to me, only because I didn't want to hurt myself. Also, I'd like to add that he did not use protection and didn't care when I said I wasn't comfortable with that and was not on birth control at the time. Time passed, and I kept telling myself I could have stopped no matter what he said, and it's all my fault, etc. When I blamed myself, I still tried to make myself trust him because I didn't want to think he was a manipulator or not a friend, or I didn't want to think I wasted my time. I was stupid for that. Later on, I continued to tell myself this. I kept texting him and supported him at shows as if he never did anything wrong, and that's what I'm ashamed of. There's more to the story, but this is as much as I'd like to share. I'm actually thankful for what happened though, because it made me a bigger person, made me someone who can stand up for myself and other people. I tried to contact Garrett yesterday to tell him how I felt about everything, but he didn't reply back to my text. He blocked me on Snapchat because of the inappropriate saved conversations in the chat, and he never read my Instagram DM. I tried to reach out to him for him to see my point of view and hope for an apology. To anyone reading this, I'm so sorry I lied to you and kept you in the dark for so long. I hope you understand why. Also, please be safe with anyone that you think you can trust yourself with. Don't think you can change someone, and don't wait for them to change. Don't let anyone try to manipulate you or take advantage of you, because you will find someone better, and you deserve better. The purpose of this is not to tear Garrett down or intentionally hurt him. I'm trying to grow more from this and become a bigger, better person. This message is to lift a heavy weight off my shoulders I've held for so long and share a deep personal story with you in case anyone tries to hurt you as well. You can message me if you want to vent about anything. I'm here for you and I finally feel free. Please don't judge or hate me. I hope you understand why I held it in for so long, and I'm still embarrassed by it, but I'm still learning to become a stronger person each day. That story was very gripping, and I hate that she had to go through that. It really hurts me, but it's something that she learned, and she learned it for a purpose, and the reason was to share with you guys and anybody out there that's going through something similar. They don't have to be famous. These things happen in our day-to-day life. You might know somebody you might be going through this right now, and you take from this example and save yourself some pain. Now, because this is the internet and we can't take anyone's word for anything, I had to find evidence if this story was actually true, and I did find I have a Google Drive here full of all evidence, text messages, and screenshots between her and Garrett. This includes verification of Garrett's hotel room and actual videos of the evidence. I will put that link in the description below. There really wasn't a direct reaction from Garrett at first until he started being removed from festivals lists. Borns will no longer be performing at ACL Fest this weekend. So after they started getting removed from festivals, they started removing themselves from tagged pictures. Urban Outfitters actually removed Blue Madonna from their floor sales. As more allegations come out, they lost more sponsorships and brand deals as of recent, especially with Misty Boyce, former Borns keyboard player, openly supporting the young women who came forward. Shortly thereafter, he and several of his band members became silent, removing their accounts, probably to prevent anyone else from searching more evidence against them, as it's often advised by their lawyers. Here's Garrett's statement. I'm both hurt and angered over the disturbing and false allegations that have been spread over the past few days on social media. All of the relationships I have had were legal and consensual. They ended abruptly and they obviously caused hurt feelings, but for anyone to suggest anything beyond that is irresponsible, Garrett. This is going to lead us into claim 2 as the allegations become a little bit more twisted and dark. The Hamburg Girl, Matilda, 19 years old. We started talking on Instagram DM on the 1st of February when I wrote to him randomly. He replied the very same day. I was in shock and so happy that he took the time to talk to me, give me attention. Then it just kept going for months. I became like obsessed with him, his attention, but he never wanted to get deep or personal. Only asking for nudes. That sounds very familiar. If I didn't send any, he ghosted me for days. He made me feel special when he talked to me. When he didn't talk to me, I felt like shit. He called himself my man. I was his little girl. He always made time to talk to me between the concerts, but it was always asking for nudes and sexting. I've never sent anything like that before to anyone, but I was so afraid to lose contact with him also. So I did what he told me to do, and he just took it further and further. He knew that if he ignored me, I would come back giving him what he wanted to. It was always on his terms. I loved having him in my life. He was still this magical mystery. We kept talking for 4 months. Then he flew me to Hamburg during his Europe tour. We spent 2 days together and it was very sweet. He was very kind and gentle to me. I did not like the way he wanted to have sex with me, made me scream for daddies, etc., etc., very uncomfortable. Then after 2 days, we still had contact, talking the whole summer. He kept asking for nudes. Every nude I sent, I felt worse and worse. I tried to talk to him about this, but he did not care. He could just ditch me off whenever. I was so afraid to lose him since I got very attached, and he knew that. I was just like a little puppet in his game. Then he asked me for a very gross video. He promised to follow my Instagram if I sent it. I didn't really care about that, but still, if he did follow me, it would be a proof to me that he actually meant something to me, that I was not just another one of those girls. I lost all my self-respect during these months. When I sent the video, he unfollowed me directly and then messaged me laughing. I was so crushed, like it killed me. It really sucks when someone takes advantage of you, and it's so hard when it's him. You know he has like 1,000 other girls just waiting, so just keep sending and doing your best to keep him happy. It's horrible. I've only ever said that he was just an asshole and the most disgusting person I've ever met, and I'm gonna stick to that. He never did anything to me in real life that I did not want to, but damn, he took advantage of me. And then I started talking about it on my story, and then so many other girls that he had come in contact with began to open up with me and show me screenshots. We realized he plays the same game on everyone, makes them addicted to him, makes them feel special, constantly asking for nudes and always describing what he wanted to do to them sexually. But when all the girls started to talk to me, I realized how messed up it really was. It's very sad, so sad. And then she posts some pictures of him and her on the Europe tour. So they definitely did spend time together. It was definitely him. Now this stuff runs very deep. There are 9 different claims. I can't go over everything in this video, but I just wanted to make this video to bring awareness to this, to prevent anything else from happening. But right now it is allegations. I'm doing my best to stay neutral in this, even though these things take a lot of empathy out of me, and it's really hard to even talk about these types of things. But I want to say that if you guys are having any trouble, you can always reach out to me in Discord DMs. Links are always in the description, but I do care, and remember that our voice is the strongest thing that we have. But as interesting as this is, there's always something that's more interesting to me. That's right, you guessed it. I want to know what you think. So why don't you go ahead and leave your creative and or interesting responses in the comment box below. Thumbs up for those likes. As always, brothers and sisters, I will see you in the next video. I try my best to use my platform to raise awareness for these types of things, because a lot of these things, and I'm sick of it, get just brushed under the rug as if they're not that big of a deal. But as long as we have a voice, we can always talk about these things, and this is the most powerful tool that we have. Don't forget that. I want to do more. That's why I started a Patreon, because I want to get to the point where I can travel and do seminars and talk to everyone and just tell them that it's okay and that you can move on and turn your negatives into positives. But that being said, I know that you're repping. If you're not repping, you're Greg. And how do you become a member of the Rep Squad? All you can do is subscribe, notifications turn on, be in the comment section to every single video, because I'm going to be there. Greg the Cat's going to be there, and the rest of the Rep Squad community as well. And I expect to see you there too, because this channel loves you. Coffee time.